It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings. You can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up-to-the-minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us and us being sovereign ground, we're not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you going to draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Everybody, welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans, the #1. At David G. Evans, the #1. Won't you like us and subscribe to us, share with as many people as possible. Hit that notification button so you don't miss one moment of the On Point conversation. Once again, we want to welcome you, and we are the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America today. Live every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday morning. We love for you to share with us today those things that are on your mind, on your heart. We discuss those things that are relevant to you as it relates to current events, politics, sports, of course, faith, religion, but always from a kingdom or biblical point of view. So if you are interested in that kind of conversation, welcome. We have a diverse population as our listeners, and they call from all around the country. Sometimes we get some international calls. And of course, you can join us on Facebook this morning and leave your comments there, and we can answer them as we go along in the program, as we progress in the program. Our phone number for calling us toll free is 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. I'd love for you to give us a call. We can have this conversation around these subjects that we've chosen that we believe are impacting, but we can also use if you have something that's on your heart, we'd love to speak to you about that. So once again, 866-743-8267 on point. Of course, joining us once again is our co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. Hey, man.
Good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
Okay.
A lot going on this week.
Yeah.
I have it's probably a rhetorical question, but if I threatened a DA with violence, would they have arrested me?
Probably.
Okay. I just want to make
you out.
Yeah. Just
talk to you.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that that the law is still the law, because I don't know how you do some of the things that we're seeing, publicly done, and you don't at least get a visit from the police.
Yeah, unless they agree with you somewhat on your side. Because remember, he was the law enforcement individual. Or they're just afraid of a shakeup, which doesn't make sense to me either.
Well, that doesn't make any sense either. But, I mean, so depending on who you are, here we go again.
Yes. Yeah.
You can threaten an official of the city, and in that instance, it's free speech. It's not a terrorist attack.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, and I understand that our former president was never set up to be arrested. That he just manufactured that and raised money from it?
Yeah, he raised the most money from the announcement that he did the whole entire time he was campaigning before. That's what I'm saying. In
that's
ways he
shady.
has a genius.
That's shady.
He's
though.
a shady genius to him. And he knows how to push those buttons to get the response that he wants.
Okay. Now I don't. Maybe I'm missing something, but why would Iowa no longer want people who are on food stamps, who you have designated, qualified as being a recipient of food stamps? Why would you not want them to be able to buy meat with that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Meat is not food?
Yeah, they just want them to buy processed food, canned stuff, and that's it. It goes back to me. I could be wrong. It goes back to that you're on welfare because it's your fault.
Okay.
So
is that everybody?
That a certain constituency believes that everybody on welfare.
But this is not just certain segments of people in Iowa. This is everybody who's on SNAP.
Yeah, I'm talking about people in politics.
Okay.
They believe that, you should be able to get up. This is America. Try to stimulate them out of.
But not being able to buy meat is not going to stimulate us. It's going to deny your kids food that they need to eat.
Yeah, basically.
So what, somebody got offended, they were in line behind someone who was on SNAP, and they were buying a sirloin, and they got offended, and they said, well, why should they be on food stamps and buying? Well, should it just be cold cuts?
But there are people, steak is a luxury. You shouldn't be able to buy steak with food stamps. But what people do with their food
steak
stamps
is food.
is their business.
Steak is food.
We know that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
Next it'll be you can only buy cuts of meat that nobody wants.
Yeah. To me, it screams of, again, you claim to care about godly principles.
Right.
But the biggest crowd Jesus talked about was the poor folk.
Right.
And guess what they're doing?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I'm just saying it.
It's horrible. Now, 6 former Phillies players died of brain cancer.
Yeah.
They think it's something at the stadium?
They thought it was something at the old vet. That's what it's called.
At the vet.
The AstroTurf.
There could be some petroleum-based things in how they made that, because rubber does come from oil products.
Yeah. And in a lot of those turf fields, when you run, those little black balls come up.
Yeah.
So they think, they confirmed it, but they're wondering if the AstroTurf, some chemicals in there.
I would think, especially in the early models, that they were not as eco-friendly or as non-carcinogenic. They simply were trying to build a field, and those early fields are nothing like the ones now.
Yeah. So it's Tug McGraw, a few other people that died from it. Because they're just trying to find a link. They all had the same type of cancer.
Then that means they all had something in common, which probably means it was at the field or at the stadium.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone the other day about climate change. And I think people are really, not, maybe people don't know the difference between climate and weather.
Mm-hmm.
But as I am studying science here these last 2 years, and you're looking at different climates in different places, there definitely has been a shift in climate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that the shift in climate is experienced as a change in weather to people. Mm-hmm. But the condition of a region has a climate, which produces a type of weather. That's as simple as I can, explain it. But if we look at the winter that we've had, something changed.
Yeah.
Because we may have had 1 or 2 inches of snow total.
If that.
If that. Yeah. And we normally are good for a couple 6-inch, 5-inch, sessions of snow.
Yep. We've been having warmer winters lately.
And warmer meaning not going all the way down to zero and, high in the low single numbers,
For us, it's been it's been
like in the 20s and stuff.
20s to 50s the whole time. The Euphrates River is starting to dry up.
Is it?
Yeah. There's another river in New Mexico that's drying up. California's getting hit, not just
San Joaquin.
I had to look up the one, but I know California's got hit with a cyclone bomb on top of the snow they had.
Okay.
So I mean, they're having their own climate stuff. I'm just saying it's.
So why do they think people in their 20s and 30s are having heart attacks?
Could be for a few reasons, like cancer. Something's going on in the food.
Okay, water, air,
environmental.
Yeah.
And this generation is not as active.
That may be very sedentary.
You're sedentary while you're eating processed food.
Right.
That's right.
A lot of that.
And the other thing.
Whole lot of DoorDash.
Yeah. They brought up another thing about stress too.
Okay. What stress?
The stresses of life. Here's.
Okay.
I do this good.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
At large.
And stress is contextual.
Yes, it's contextual.
Okay.
Yes.
Stress is contextual.
I think parents of newer generations have done their children a disservice.
Absolutely.
By helping them avoid necessary, not talking about unnecessary stress.
I agree with you.
Necessary stress. So when they get in their 20s and 30s, they don't know how to manage anything because they think the world revolves around them and what they want and their convenience.
Now, the fault, if there is any human fault in this, and I believe there is some participation, comes from a lot of people from my generation and a couple of succeeding generations had very difficult, stressful upbringings.
Yes.
And they made an overcommitment to protecting their children from whatever they've been through. And in consequence of trying to give them, quote unquote, a better life, they removed a lot of the very stressors that give you strength over time.
Yeah.
And resilience and, the ability to stick in there when there's a problem and, accountability and responsibility, all that, a lot of that's gone.
Yeah.
But it started happening, as I see it, at the public school level, when it shifted from the teacher's right, you're wrong, to no matter what the teacher says, my kid cannot be held responsible.
Yep. Yeah. And we're not denying the necessary stress of the environment, like school shootings and all that stuff. Those things,
it's weird,
are, but I think, like you said, the environment that we created for a lot of our generation isn't healthy for them. Giving them cell phones too early, social media too early. All that brings in.
I agree with you.
And again, like you said, I grew up in an era with food stamps.
Okay.
Eating government raisins and stuff like that. I don't want my kids to experience the same thing.
No.
However, we ain't going out to Chop House every night.
No.
We ain't doing all that.
That's not real.
Yeah, that's not real.
It's not real. That's not real.
Yeah. So the things that, like you said, made us strong, we took away from them. And again, I think there's that balance.
I think it has to be intentional, that you want to raise an individual who can handle normal life stresses and at times unexpected stresses. But I'm not sure that a lot of us are gearing this this generation now that we're in are suffering from a lack of ability to you can't justify every problem that you create with blaming it on somebody else, or this is just how I felt, so I did it. There's almost like there's not. What I saw during COVID was there was not enough concern for fellow man.
Yeah.
That it all became individualistic, and we're not concerned with what we do and how we affect other people. It's just, it almost seems to that love your brother thing seems to be out the window.
Yeah, because it's all about me and what I want to do.
Yeah. And if you notice the terms, my truth, this, that, all those authenticity things point back to you really being focused on yourself. me time, all that. I think it's too much. I think it's there is a portion of self-care in life, but there's also a portion of caring for others in life.
Yeah. Which is supposed to be the dominant.
Yeah.
It's scripture.
Yeah. I think it was me. I tweeted something this morning about ultimate purpose in life is to help others.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that calculus is something that is seen as profitable in the culture that we're in now.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's let me get mine, and if I happen to get you, cool.
Yeah.
But I think for now, let's talk for Christians. And,
okay.
Christian.
Yeah.
We don't hear a lot of, at large I'm talking about, you hear in segments, a lot of God giving stuff to us to give it through us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is you're going to get, it's yours. Not how can this can be used to bless the kingdom, to bless people, and you don't get people to shout, but it's maturity though.
Yeah, blessing stops. The calculus that we have now is blessing stops with you. And the it almost feels counterintuitive to want God to send stuff through you.
Yeah.
And he's not saying he doesn't want us to be blessed.
Absolutely, yeah.
But part of our ability to be blessed is the ability to bless other people.
Yeah. Even the gifts, Paul says it, that the gifts of the Spirit are to profit with all.
That's
profit
right.
outside of you.
The
gift ain't for us.
No. But we think it is.
Yeah.
I think, and then we go back to a need for identities to be repaired, and I think we try to do that with gifts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to be gifted than it is to change your character, to work on your person. And we see a lot of that.
Yeah.
The gift to compensate for.
Yeah, title goes along with the gift. Yeah. And then the gift makes up for who I don't think I am internally.
Yeah.
So you can call me stuff and I can kind of buy into the fantasy that this gift or this title detaches me from, my own self.
True.
Yeah.
Until the real you's revealed.
Yeah, well.
And then it's don't judge me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come out.
But then there's no responsibility for that. So.
Yeah. That's true.
I've always, it's something that I've said 1,000 times. It is really a full-time job minding your own business.
Yes, it is.
It really is. It really is. It really is. It's just if we just did a good job on our own business, I think we do really well.
Yeah, Lord, help me.
Yeah. We do really well. So now, have you heard any rumblings about what's happening with the COVID emergencies? I understand that the courts are full with landlords and tenants.
Okay.
That they're now that the moratoriums are over, they're asking for their rent.
Yeah.
And people who got money for rent during COVID do not have it to pay these landlords. So eviction court is overflowing with individuals. How do you get money for your rent? Don't put it away thinking they're never going to ask for it. What makes a person think they can stay in a place for 6, 12, 15, 16, 18 months, 2 years, and never have money for it and just continually spend it on stuff? So when they ask for it, you're like, this ain't fair.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. It felt like a free ride for a lot of people.
Did it?
Because the way they were presenting it.
Okay.
And then that whole great, what they call it, that great exodus from work during COVID.
Okay.
Some people are starting to regret that.
I'm sure.
Because they're like, now they're trying to find a job and it's harder to find jobs. During the time when COVID, they were paying people, double, triple?
Just to come to work.
I remember talking to somebody. I'm thinking about leaving my job. And I was like, okay, let's think about this real quick. Do you have another job set up? No. You got responsibilities, right? Yes. Why are you thinking about quitting your job? Because you're stressed when you got boom, 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 you got to take care of.
Yeah.
But there was no thought of
consequences.
What is this going to cost me if
consequences. What's that all about?
Yeah. I get one of the things I think was good that came out of it was I get how corporate America will eat you up, use you, and chew you out. So some people are saying, you know what? Don't take away our benefits while giving the CEO a $10 million bonus.
Right.
I'm moving to a different company.
Okay.
To me, that's wise.
Move to a different company. Yes.
Not quit and not work.
I'm going home and then,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
intentionally depend on social programs to
Yes.
do what a corporate job can do.
Yes.
That's I don't know how to call that. That's not unwise. That's something else. That's foolish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But adults were making those decisions.
They were up quitting. I'm not talking about people getting laid off and couldn't find a job. I'm talking about people quitting their jobs. But what I did learn, this I don't know how legal this was.
Okay.
Some of the six-figure bosses of companies, when COVID happened, because they didn't have to go into office, they applied for another job. The same position.
Absolutely.
And did not tell their main job.
Absolutely, they did. Of course, they did.
So they were going from Zoom to Zoom, making $300,000 at this job, $400,000 at this job, and they saw the opportunity.
Well, wait a minute now. Poor folk. Wait a minute now. It can't be illegal.
Yeah.
Because poor folk been working two jobs forever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if certain higher ups, they had that non-compete.
Well, you just get in a non-compete in the industry. But the fact of the matter is, poor folk been working two jobs for as long as I can remember.
Yep.
Sometimes three.
Yeah.
And your main employer does not know about those other jobs.
Yep.
Because you don't let them interfere with that. So I
wasn't mad at them.
Poor folk been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. You got two jobs making six figures?
We had two jobs making below middle five figures. That's what we had.
Right.
You trying to get to maybe 30, 40 back in the day,
Yeah.
And sometimes you had to take up an extra job, work 3-4 days at night time. I remember working 12 hours a day while I was going to college on Saturday. I remember working 8 hours a day Monday through Friday and 12 hours a day on Saturday and Sunday.
Look, if they were offering the overtime, you took it.
Yeah.
It wasn't no.
I was working at the Cape Monday through Friday, budget rental car, 12 hours riding budget rental car, driving them 12 hours a day on Saturday and Sunday. They were paying me.
If it's there.
They were paying me. And when I was in the car, nobody was there, and didn't have to go anywhere, I studied.
Yep. Yeah. And then what am I going to do for time to relax? After you get off work, you could watch TV,
do all that.
Book, you could
all that. I had bills to pay. So I don't get it. We got Tom from Florida. We got Robin from Newcastle, Delaware. Is that a new Robin? Did Robin move, or is that the historic Robin? Yeah. I'm just messing. It was Robin. Let's go talk to Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing? How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, man.
Hey, Bishop. Earlier you were talking about our ex-president threatening people.
Yeah.
On the cover of the New York Post, there's a picture of him with a baseball bat swinging at the DA in New York.
I didn't think you were allowed to do those types of things.
You said the New York Post?
Yes. It's actually a picture of him with a baseball bat. And
why are they making light out of this? Tom, if you threatened the DA, what would happen to you?
I'd have a couple of guys in blue suits at the front door.
That's what I thought.
Want to talk to me,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing with that same crazy crowd, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think it was yesterday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Her and her cronies went down to visit these people that got arrested for January 6th. Not only that, at the same time, Ashley Babbitt's mom, which is the lady who got killed during the riots, Kevin McCarthy met with the mom.
Okay.
She was actually able to get a table with McCarthy, and she was part of this riot. And I'm thinking, what's going on with that party? The other thing too is McCarthy just introduced a bill from Florida banning books. So it appears as though he's trying to help out our governor here as far as getting some national recognition.
Banning what kind of books?
They didn't go into detail, but don't say gay, no.
So if they deem it inappropriate, the book shouldn't be available.
Yes, and they want to make it nationwide.
Now,
yes.
Am I missing something historical, Tom? Didn't Nazi Germany do that? And don't some communist countries do that?
Oh yeah.
So there's no sensitivity to that from a democracy versus communist kind of mindset. There's no sensitivity to that.
I think yesterday was one of the best things that happened down here. Somebody questioned the governor on one of the books that just got banned was Life and Times of Rosie Parks.
Oh boy.
He said, if you cannot have her in your school library, what are you telling us? And there was no answer.
They didn't have an answer for the person?
They didn't have an answer. I'm pretty sure it's good national news, but it was, down here locally. And it's like, how can you ban a book about life? It wasn't about, sex or drugs or Life and Times or Rosie Parks.
They don't want to be reminded that we had a problem.
Yeah.
I believe that's it. The other thing, Tom, is I'm almost redundantly I ask you the same question. How are Florida residents reacting to these particular suggestions from the governor? How are you all reacting to this?
Bishop, I sometimes wonder because he gets what he wants. He's got cronies. They control both houses.
Okay. But they don't control the people. What do are the people overwhelmingly protesting these things, or are they just being quiet?
They're being quiet. You'll see a couple that really voice their opinion locally on news, but not like you would expect. It's almost like if it's not affecting me directly at this moment, I don't see it, or something. I don't know.
And you're the guys who are getting ready to have permitless guns, right?
If things go the way you want, anybody, wild, wild west.
It's going to be something.
I don't even know why you want to live in Florida at this point.
Yeah.
That's no law concerning guns.
Yeah.
Bishop, actually, other than that, I joke, but that scares me. There's enough people with road rage every week. I hear about somebody in Miami getting shot on 95. And I'm thinking, how much worse is that going to get?
Terrible. Because you're going to have people without restraint, without filters, reacting out of their problems, reacting out of their hurts, just taking it out on people. And I think it's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Him and the Congress, or the state Congress, are trying to tote that Florida's going to be the freest state, in the country, and you want to be free and constitutional rights come live here. That's what they're touting.
So okay. Let me ask you a question. This hypothetical, Tom. So what's the name of your governor?
Ron DeSantis.
DeSanctimonious, yeah.
All right. So is Governor DeSantis trying to set up, if you will, his own mini country in the United States?
That's what it sounds like.
Is he succeeding from the Union?
If he could, he would.
Because it sounds like he's setting up his own little fiefdom down there.
I think what he's doing is, I think this is all pointed to the White House. Everything he does says White House. I don't think he's even thinking a part about, moving away from the country. He just thinks everything he's doing takes Trump and put it on steroids.
Has he changed term limits for governors in the state yet?
No. And you know what? With the House that they have right now, they may be able to pull that off. Now, I don't think he wants to go there yet, because I don't think he thinks he's going to be governor next go around. I think he believes he's going to be president. So I don't think he's worried about that.
Wow. Well, Tom, as always, you've been highly informative.
Did you see the thing about the Michelangelo's David?
That was silly.
Right. So
that statue's been naked forever.
Right. But the crazy thing was, it was only 3 parents that complained. 3.
And he lost his job behind it?
And you forced a principal to resign for 3 parent complaints?
I'll tell you something else that's scary.
Over the statue of Mike David, I'm like, come on, y'all.
And Bishop, one of the things before you kick me off here, he does, I don't know if it's the intimidation factor, but school board members, he kicks these guys off the board.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
And we just found out he had a hit list last month of 14 board members that he wanted gone. Now, the court stopped him a couple of times because literally these are elected officials that he would come in and find any small infraction and blow it up and go, oh no, they shouldn't be able to serve because this happened, and he kicks them out.
But aren't they elected locally?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I think it all started with the Broward Sheriff's Department. He got rid of that guy.
I remember.
Nobody challenged him. And ever since, it's like, if I don't like what they're doing, I'll go after them and let the courts figure it out.
How many people have seen Michelangelo's David? I bet you can't count them.
Probably can't even count. Yeah, from the pictures in person, you can't.
A guy loses his job because he's showing not a monument, a historic figure that millions of people have viewed, either live or video or however.
Over the millennium.
We learned about it in elementary school.
Absolutely.
That's like we're kids, and it was no thought of, oh, he's naked. It was like, oh, it's a statue.
Come on, Doc.
Like, come on.
What's up in Florida, man?
Bishop, I wish I could tell you.
You're supposed to be able to tell me, man.
But the crazy thing, they got this whole thing on. We don't want our kids to be sexualized too early, and I think a lot of this country needs to calm down with our kids and sexualizations. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what do you do when these kids go into the real world, number one, and you haven't equipped them for how to deal with it?
They go in unequipped. And here's the problem. There was a shift happening away from innocence when I was growing up. So your parents had to sit you down and give you the talk. Well, because they wanted you to hear it from them rather than getting your education from your peers and in the street, and you don't know where your peers were getting it from. But now, I don't know if we're preparing them, here I go again, to make the right decisions. If you give them no standard, there's no position to make a judgment from. So this just let them live is not preparing them for life.
Not at all. Not
and
at
Bishop,
all.
I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong here. The K through third grade, not say gay. Hey, I don't know if I totally agree with it, but I understand it. But now that he wants to go K through 12, don't say gay.
Oh, come on.
There are kids who are 16, 17 years old that understand a lot more about what they want to do than kids in third grade.
The problem with that is they got gay kids in their classes.
Thank you. Like,
exactly.
Come on.
Tom, we got to go, man.
Hey, take care.
All right, man. Talk to you.
All right.
866-743-8261, 866-743-8261. We're going to Robin, then we're going to Teresa from Camden. Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Well, good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick. Welcome back, Pastor Nick.
Hi, welcome. Hi.
Yeah, we always miss you when you're not on there.
She talking so sweet this morning. Come on, girl.
No, I think I have a touch of the flu. I took a COVID test, so it's negative.
All right, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and then you said, did I move? Yes, I did. I'm in Barra, Delaware now, not Newcastle.
Okay.
But, Bishop, I just want to make a comment. I just have two questions, and I'm done. But the message that you did Sunday, how you touched on so many things regarding the difference between eros, Philippe, and agape love, it really, made so much sense. And just a lot of things that you've been, speaking on about how managing your spending. Something you said, God didn't create us to survive. Oh, that was from the worship is warfare message I'm listening to. You went to John chapter 5, verse 1-6. You said, God didn't create us just to survive, but it's just a lot of things that you've been speaking on this last season has really it's just been really helping me to grow.
I'm glad.
And you know, I appreciate, you know,
glad.
all that you're doing, you and Pastor Nick, your teachings, your
Thank
love
you.
that you share, you know, that you show us. I really, you know, appreciate it.
Thank you.
But the question is, I know Pastor Nick can look this up, but I've been seeing a lot on social media where the guy Nichols who got killed by the cops, I can't think of the one's name. They said that was because of a woman, either his wife or his baby mama that Nichols was dating. So I don't know if that's, you know, true, but it's dealing with a female.
I'm not familiar with what she's talking about.
The rumors that Tyree Nichols, the guy that got killed by the
okay,
was dating one of the cops' ex or something like that. But there's no truth to that. They haven't found any truth to it.
Why would they?
It was just some rumors that were going on.
People just like creating stuff.
Yeah, they trying to find reasons, but that shows you how something can go viral so fast.
Well,
I can say something.
Life travels faster than the truth.
Yeah. So they don't know what's true or what's not true.
Okay.
Until we don't know until something comes out.
Okay.
Right. And the other question, this last one that was brought to my attention was asked, how soon should you date either female or male if you lost your partner and it's only been like 3 or 4 months, and especially if they have young children?
Well,
I couldn't.
I think people don't give themselves time to recover. I think they are more intense trying to replace than to recover. And then what happens is you bring somebody on board to someone who has not recovered and is not emotionally ready for another relationship, and it's bound to have some pitfalls in it, because, you know, and if you've got children, you wouldn't even be thinking about introducing them to somebody new.
Right.
You know,
that fast.
That I think 3 months is irresponsible. I don't think that's fast. I think it's irresponsible. Yeah. But it's not thinking about you. It's not thinking about your kids. It's not thinking about the impact that it would have on them.
Right.
How
long should a person, wait?
I don't think there's a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly think that you got to look at your children.
Yeah.
And think about what it's going to take if a significant person, mother or father, passes away, and you call them up, well, this is your new dad, this is your new mom.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
They still more.
Wait a minute. You're asking them to go to war with you.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you have to. You know, I don't get this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can see like maybe a year go by, or, you know, but after 3-4 months. You know, like you said, that was asked, and I didn't know how to answer that, so let me ask.
I don't know how you stop loving a person just suddenly like that.
Yeah, unless it wasn't meant to be with that person too.
Well,
sometimes, like you said, sometimes people get together just to have the kids.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. That's a whole nother conversation. For real. So, but that's all I have.
All right.
So I want y'all to have a blessed day.
You too.
All right.
Hope you feel better. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
It's On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Any smart device at David G. Evans 1. We'd love for you to give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We've got about 12, 13 more minutes. You have plenty of time to get in. Let's talk to Teresa from Camden. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Teresa, going once. Teresa, going twice. Teresa, going 3 times. All right, maybe she'll call back. So, how can, and maybe I'm thinking too much, maybe I'm reading too much into this. How can one state appear to be, like Florida, so radically headed in another direction that I believe most, and this is not talking party, just people, that most people would think this is not the direction we need to head?
Well, it's like Florida, Alabama, Texas, all them, they all have that same agreement. This is where we need to be as a country.
Okay.
So that's why and this is why I say that Republicans may not have the biggest numbers, but if they can win the right states, you can have another Republican president next time around.
Yeah.
If they win electoral college votes.
Yeah.
So those conservative hubs, like a lot of, like Mississippi and another one is following Florida's model.
Right.
And wouldn't be surprised you see it in Texas and those other places, Carolinas.
Why aren't the people rising up in the state that these types of things are going to hurt or they oppose? It's almost like there's this, it's almost like there's an ignoring a certain part of the population.
Yeah.
And that part of the population is content to be ignored.
Yeah. It's something, I was listening to Roland Martin last week.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying something, how, I think it was Florida, DeSantis, if every black person that was eligible to vote in the last election, DeSantis would not have won.
Of course not.
And he went through numbers. I mean, he spits facts.
Sure.
But I don't know if this apathy of my vote don't count or I don't care, I'm just going to do me. But then they end up receiving the brunt end of the worst of, because you're not out there
and complaining about
it.
Yeah.
So
they can redistrict all they want. If people come out of their homes and vote, I believe you can overcome the redistrict.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, you can.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
It's just getting people, and one of the things he brought up was a lot of the issues you see with people is that they bring up voter registration, maybe 6 months before the election?
Right.
He's like, it's 2 years. Why are we working on this now? If they're going to start campaigning earlier, we need to start registering people.
Getting people in the mindset that you have to do this.
Of what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's grassroots.
Yeah. Let's go to Felicia from Montgomeryville. Good morning, Felicia.
Good morning. Is this Bishop?
Yes, it is. Welcome to On Point today.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. This your first time calling us?
Yes, it is. It's my first time
Well,
calling.
welcome. Where's Montgomeryville?
It's in Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia.
Okay, that Montgomeryville. I don't know. I guess I was thinking south.
Yeah, I was thinking like Alabama or something.
I thought it was Montgomeryville, Mississippi, girl.
Yeah. Oh, no, not that far.
What's your comment today?
I was calling to ask a question about forgiveness.
Okay.
And your thoughts on it. If you are able to forgive a person, say a close relative, a sibling, and you've forgiven them, but where is it that you have to continue in relationship with them? Because the trust isn't there. You get to a point where you say, okay, I forgive you for what you did, and I accept you for the person you are, but I don't want to continue in relationship with you because there's no trust.
Well, one of the things that people don't talk about as it relates to forgiveness is that it frees you from the offender. Forgiveness does not obligate you to start going out to lunch with a person. But the old traditional way of looking at it, which was feeling and not really faith, was that, God got some kind of glory for you hanging around somebody that you were totally uncomfortable being around. There's a bunch of folk in hell that God has forgiven, but he ain't fellowshipping with them.
Okay.
All right, so forgiveness either repairs a relationship or gives you the distance to function, knowing the person. But, that's a misconception that, you forgive a person and now you guys got to be best of friends. No, that's not the truth.
And when it's a close family member, you have that pressure from the family, you should forgive.
Well, you did, but you can have productive distance from a family member.
And I think that's where I'm struggling because the family wants me to
be uncomfortable to make them comfortable. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So there's some context that you won't be comfortable going into. You shouldn't ask them not to invite the person. One of the revelations of a situation like this is that you find out who really cares about how you feel, especially if they're all aware of what happened. When I care about people, there's certain people I'm not inviting into a context so they can sit there and be uncomfortable the whole day. I don't think, that's not giving glory to God.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe that forgiveness gives people license to put you in places where you are uncomfortable.
Okay, and that's what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
And being made to feel that I'm wrong for not wanting to be around these people that I know I can't trust.
But you know, sometimes the very people that do that and suggest that are intolerant of people that they feel like have offended them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That makes sense?
Much. Yes, it does.
All right, now you stay strong.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
866-743-8267. It's really weird how I know people that are absolutely intolerant of folk, that'll criticize another person because they know a person has done something dastardly to them, and then you know they're supposed to like start picking them up, taking them to work and stuff. That's crazy.
I'll say something to them. I'm like, when somebody hurts you, you act like it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody hurts me, all of a sudden I just got to be gracious.
Yeah,
You're not even doing the same thing.
No. And
I'm like, and you're not the one hurt by the situation. So how can you tell me, you know? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, how can you tell me how to respond to it?
The Bible I read, Jesus never suffered unnecessarily.
Yep.
He's forgiven people all over the place.
Yep.
But some folk he didn't hang out with.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like if you go to Thanksgiving, you don't have to be around the person. But you can be with the rest of your family somewhere else in another room.
Or just don't go.
Yeah, depending on the context.
Yeah, just don't go.
Yeah, depending on the context.
Have dinner at your own house.
There's ways to work stuff out.
And I think even at a family gathering, that eventually becomes very uncomfortable because you're trying to avoid somebody in the same house.
Well, I don't care, so I just go.
Yeah, well, see, you're different.
I'm different. Yeah.
You're different.
I could be around you.
That would be that. Me, you know, I'm cool. Cool. You guys have seen me do it. You know, just, I'm like whatever. You know, but not everybody's wired like that.
Yeah, everybody's not. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
To where they can be in a room with someone that. But when you're in leadership, you get used to being in rooms with people who really care for you.
Yeah.
People that act like they care for you but really don't.
Yeah.
And people that don't care for you.
Yeah.
You got to get used to that whole context.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then again, and again, based off what the violation was. You know, we're not talking about some small petty something. Somebody said hello to you, didn't like the way they said it. If it's like a abuse situation, that kind of thing, we're not saying you go around somebody that's abused you or
that's abusive.
Yeah. That something's wrong.
Making me go around somebody that abused me. No, that's abusive.
But in families, we saw families protect the abuser and make the one who was abused uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be, don't let the kids go around Uncle So-and-so. Uncle So-and-so shouldn't be coming to these events.
That's right.
But you don't want to hurt Uncle So-and-so's feelings.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I've been in that situation where I had to say, look, you know, they don't care enough about to keep that person away from you all.
Yeah.
You know, your mother or your father saying, well, that's your uncle. Well, yeah. It is.
It is, but not here.
Yeah. So, you know, just, I don't know why we're so silly.
I know. Forgiveness does not restore trust.
No.
It doesn't redeem a relationship.
No. But it's not, traditionally it's not taught that way.
Yeah, it's not.
And it normally lands in the lap of the victim to restore the relationship with the person that was the perpetrator.
Yes. Yep. It's just.
I don't get it. I don't know what happens with families who are so blind that they would force their children to be around the very person that mishandled them early in life. That's just. So I love my brother more than I love my grandchildren or my children. No.
You can't be that You can't be that afraid to hurt somebody's feelings in the right case. Because one of the philosophies I've had, help me out if you're wrong. If somebody doesn't care about my feelings, why should I spend majority of my time trying to protect theirs? And they have no care about mine. Not that I hurt them or not care about them.
Yeah, but
you get what I'm saying? It's like
I'm not sure that we know how to care anymore. I think everything's become so personalized that caring is a skill we are not developing over time. And it's deteriorating our ability to relate to one another. Because, like I've been saying for a long time, things are so transactional now, Nick. You know, they're not relational, they're transactional now.
Yep.
It's what can I get out of you, you know, and is being around you an advantage to me?
Yeah.
You know, we're not thinking about what God has given us to take to a person.
Right. That's true. There's a scene. Have you ever seen The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
Yes.
The movie with the version with the guy that just played James Bond, Daniel Craig.
I don't think I've seen that.
That was the
one.
American version.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that.
I think you saw
one.
the German.
Yeah.
There's a scene in there where the guy,
with the girl from the Steelers, right? That was the German version.
No, that was the American version.
Okay.
The Steelers' granddaughter.
Okay.
Where he said, you knew I was going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paraphrasing here. He said, but the fear of offending me basically caused him to override his natural senses.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to the house. He said, you knew I was going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But you were so nervous about offending me that you still came in anyway.
Wow.
To me, that is how people act.
Yeah.
You know this person's going to wound you, but you're so caring of their feelings. They don't care about yours. You know they're going to offend you. You just go right on in.
But then you've got people in the real family context. You've got people telling you, and I think I've heard people say this a lot, you need to be the bigger person. You know, and I think in some cases that's true.
Absolutely.
But if someone has tried to kill you,
no.
You know, that sounds extreme to people who've never been in violent situations. But if someone has really tried to harm you, I think you can forgive the incident, but I think you're right not to trust the person. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can see how in a situation like that, like abuse or something violent like that, if the family invites the person over, that means you tell me you care about that person more than you care about. That's what it feels like to the person who's been hurt. You're choosing that individual over.
Yeah. I've had that conversation with people.
Yeah, it's,
you know, they know that this sibling has been abused by this relative, but they insist on inviting that relative to a place where the sibling is. I think that's
insane.
And then the person that received the abuse is told, kind of like, you just need to get over this.
Yeah.
Well, I done forgave you and everything, but I don't have to sit down and eat with this sucker.
Yeah. And let's be real here. And you've counseled people. I have. Forgiveness doesn't always close the wound up.
No.
You can forgive somebody and still have a sensitivity that's God's working on, healing. But some of the stuff takes time.
And you don't get healed just being around a person all the
time.
Especially in abuse situations. That's not productive.
You see the person, all the memories start to come back.
But then you want them to sit down Thanksgiving dinner and have a conversation. How come you're not talking to Uncle So-and-so?
Right.
What the heck you mean, why am I not talking to him?
Exactly.
Anyway.
I know.
Tomorrow is Sunday. We're so happy Sunday has come again. We want you to join us at 8 a.m. on our virtual service. But also live here in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. We're having an incredible time in the Lord. Word, worship, prayer. It's just God has been delivering. We got some another set of testimonies for you. Tomorrow, one of my own is going to be on there. So it's just an amazing thing that God is doing in this new wave of glory that we're experiencing. We want to invite you out to another great service we're having on Wednesday nights as we're in this series on purpose called Leverage. You don't want to miss a moment of this. You want to be with us on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Worship begins at 7, about 7:20, 7:25, depending on the intensity of the worship. We get up and start to share a lesson with you. But this time we're in this thing called Leverage. It's absolutely concerning purpose. You have never heard anything like it before. God has given me a distinct revelation on this, and I believe it's going to impact your life for the rest of your life. We would love to pray with you. Send all your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com. That's social@gotobethany. That's the number 2, Bethany.com. And always subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ. David G. Evans, the number 1, BBC of NJ on YouTube. But also we've got some podcast platforms, DGEMS, and of course OnPointe that you've been sharing with us for the last hour. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. We would love to see you tomorrow. Stay strong, stay saved, and remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so. That it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on OnPointe.